All right, I'm going to show you guys how to make a graph of mass versus volume on a spreadsheet. You can do this by hand, but it's really fast on the graph on the computer. So one thing that you need to be sure you do first is to make sure that your volume column is to the left of your mass column. So this is going to be your X, and this is going to be your Y. So you highlight all of the data, and you find this icon. Looks like a bar chart. And you're going to insert chart. It automatically creates a column chart, but you want to scroll down and create a scatter plot. Okay? Now before you move forward, you need to make sure that it correctly graphed your data. So first, I'm going to look at the numbers for volume, and I see like, okay, yeah, it goes from about 4 to about 8, right? Or from about 3 to about 8. And then for mass, it goes from 0 all the way to 25. And that covers the range of my mass numbers too. And here I see x-axis, it's graphing volume on the x, good, and mass on the y. And that's what we want. Okay, so now to kind of customize this and make it look like a appropriate graph for your science class. So this title is not descriptive enough. So you can see I went to customize, and then I went to chart and axis titles, and then I can change whatever title I want to work on from here. So I'm going to call this title, this chart, Figure 1, Mass versus Volume for, and then I want to be descriptive about what it actually is so that someone who has no idea what I'm doing can actually like get meaning from this graph. So look, you know that these numbers are mass, you know these numbers are volume. We're going to add those labels in just a second. And then for what? What is this actual data? Well, here you can see I measured 5 different granite rocks. I got these numbers for their volume and their mass, and that's what it is. 5 samples of granite. All right, so maybe now I want to add, not maybe, you guys know that if you read the scientific writing guide, it says add labels to your axes. So for my horizontal axis title, that is volume. And for my vertical axis title, it is mass. Okay, and you can see them pop up right here. And now it's starting to look really nice. Okay, great. So the next thing that you need to do that's very important is you need to click on series. When you click on series, you will see this box, trend line. You want to select it. Okay? Then you want to make sure that it is linear, right? You guys can see that there is a linear correlation here, and so therefore we should draw a line of best fit. That line of best fit should be linear. You can change it, but I wouldn't for this data, right? So you can see there's other types of relationships that you can model using trend lines, but we will use a linear trend line because that's what this data is. Please don't let my computer be dying. Okay. And then for the label, you're going to open that and you're going to say use equation. And you can see it generates an equation in the form y equals mx plus b. And you should know from your math classes that the b is the y-intercept. So it is the area where this should cross the y-axis. And it is the slope. M is the slope right in front of the x. Okay, that is the relationship between the mass and the volume. Slope is calculated by rise over run. And if the mass is on the y-axis and the volume is on the x-axis, rise over run becomes mass over volume. And so the slope of the line is the density of that substance. When you are making your graphs, you may notice that this slope does not match your average density as well as mine does. So you can see for my average density, I calculated 2.7. And since these numbers are mostly 2 significant figures, I can keep 2 significant figures in my answer. And you can see they match. That may not happen when you do your data analysis, but then you can talk about why, right? Where are ways in which error could have been introduced into your measurements? And that is all you really need to know about how to make and edit these graphs. You can copy and paste these graphs into, so if you hit like edit, my computer's running very slow because the battery is low. But if you select edit and then copy, or edit and cut, you can cut this graph and paste it into your, right, so edit, cut. You can paste it into your lab, or you can drag it and drop it, okay? So that should help you form graphs for your lab. All right, bye.